Good day everyone, and welcome to my channel! In this video I'd like to introduce you to my new Japanese mythology inspired doll, and it's a Yuki-onna.
Yuki wa atatakai, kori wa atsui.
Yuki-onna is usually described as a beautiful woman with long black hair. She has pale or even transparent skin that makes her blend with the snow and wears a white kimono. Some stories say that Yuki-onna is a spirit of someone who died in a snowstorm, but I prefer the one that says that Yuki-onna was born from the snow itself, because according to Japanese religion Shinto, every element of nature has a soul or a spirit representing it. In my opinion, the ability to appreciate nature is one of the most fascinating things about Japanese culture, and in this project my main goal was to turn everything I find beautiful about winter into a doll. So let's get started! Just as the winter itself, Yuki-onna can be mild and soft, but then completely lose her temper and have no mercy to anyone she catches off guard. Beautiful but dangerous. This woman definitely sounds like someone with pronounced cheekbones, don't you think?
You heard of this? Cheekbone. No.
As a base, I'm going to use this head from a Monster High Cupid doll. To be honest, I have a feeling like CA Cupid has absolutely the same face mold as Gulia, just a different skin tone. Good for me, because I don't need to paint her face. Lucky! I'm going to start with rerooting her hair. I sprayed her scalp with a few layers of MSC before painting it black. I do this step with every doll I make because MSC works as a good primer and helps the paint to hold stronger and has a better chance of surviving the rerooting process. In this particular case, sealing the head is especially important because vinyl likes to absorb pigments, and in the long run a grey stain might appear all around her hairline. The obsidian black will be her main hair color, but I'd like to add some white metallic hair to it as well, to make it look like the snow is resting on her hair. And I'm not going to give her any special hairstyles, so it better look special as is. Next up is her face up. The description of Yuki-onna says, "Despite her inhuman beauty, her eyes can strike terror into mortals." I decided to give her eyes a bit more of a longer and sharper shape to complement the rest of her facial features and mysterious and piercing gaze. I also thought that she would look more enchanting if she looked to the side from under her hair, and achieving that was one hell of a challenge for me. I think drawing those eyes alone is a challenge already, because you need to be extremely precise to make the irises look focused, but if a doll is looking to the side, you need to draw two asymmetrical eyes that look focused. I had to redo her eyes a lot, and when you erase too much the surface becomes smooth again and the pencils won't draw on it anymore. In this case I have two options: remove everything completely and start again, or keep the parts I feel confident about, seal the face up and then draw the second eye. In my case, I still managed to get a blurry something that was close enough to what I needed and sealed it. Even though her left eye was still slightly off, I knew that I could adjust it with the next layers. Even though I hate it when people say trust the process, I guess that's what I did here.
Liar!
Ah yeah, I don't trust nobody and nobody trusts me. First you trust the process and what next? Start quoting Taylor Swift? And now after adding some black pencil, her eyes started to look more adequate. Even though her skin is supposed to look pale and almost transparent, I'd like to add some pink blush to her cheeks to make her look cuter. And maybe leave a little hint that behind her cold appearance she might have a human heart. I also took some creative freedom and colored her lips red, because everything else in her outfit is black and white and I wanted to have at least one little color accent. And as a final touch, I would like to add some pearl white iridescent paint to her crease and lips, and then water it down and use as highlighter on her nose and cheekbones. It has pink glitter in it, so it will make the blush look more pronounced as well. And then I used white metallic paint on her irises, upper lip, and under her eyebrows as well, but there was no space on my memory card to film myself doing it. Yep. Anyway, the face up is ready. This time it looks quite simple and yet charming. As they say, less is more and more is less. I especially like the blush on her ears. I think it's so stinky cute. I removed the MSC from her hair by just scratching it off with my nails, and then off camera I will straighten her hair with boiling water. The main reason why I made her face up a bit simpler looking is her outfit being too complex. You might wonder, it's just a white kimono, what can be complex about it? Stitch two rectangles together and you are good to go. Well, the thing is, I already have several kimono dolls, and I didn't want this doll to look just like another doll in a kimono, especially because kimono is like the main element of this character's appearance. So I've decided to make it special by adding many layers and textures and experimenting with different fabrics. If you look at Japanese porcelain dolls, they often wear two kimonos, but the upper kimono is worn only on one shoulder, so that we can appreciate the other kimono as well. And this is exactly the look I'm going for. The first kimono will be a bit simpler looking. I'm using the pattern from Nakime again, but with longer sleeves. If you are new to the channel and feel like you need more detail on making this pattern, please check out my mysterious Biva lady. The outfit in general is going to be all glittery and shiny, just like a frozen forest. The fabric I used for the first kimono is called micro satin, so it already has some nice gentle shimmer to it, but when the kimono is ready, I would like to stitch some glass beads all over her right sleeve to make it look like it's covered with icicles. When I got this idea, I had another yokai in mind who often gets mistaken for Yuki-onna. It's Tsurara-onna, or the Icicle Woman. I wanted to make her as well, but then I figured that making two almost the same dolls won't make much sense, and combined the two designs in one. Even though Yuki-onna and Tsurara-onna have almost the same appearance, they are different in nature. Yuki-onna was born from snow, while Tsurara-onna was mainly created from the loneliness of men, because the legend of Tsurara-onna goes like this. A young single man gazed out his window on a cold, snowy night. He wished in his heart that he could find a wife as beautiful as the icicles hanging from his roof. Suddenly he heard a knock at his door. A woman's voice called out, and it was as beautiful and clear as ice. And the long story short, she asked him to shelter her for one night, but they fell deeply in love, got married, and were very happy together. However, when spring came, she went shopping and did not return. The man was looking for her everywhere, but she was nowhere to find. Eventually, he remarried. And next winter, he looked at the icicles again, and his first wife appeared in the window. She saw that he remarried, got upset, and went away. And as the man was watching her leaving, a huge icicle fell off his roof and struck him, taking his life.
Fatality.
It sounds like Tsurara-onna was supposed to be a loving and caring partner. Yuki-onna is the opposite and is more like a messenger of death, and being kind for her is more of an exception than the rule. There is a story about a man getting married to a Yuki-onna as well, but their love story was going the other way around. Like, the murdering part was her first intent, but then she saw that the guy was young and good looking and decided to spare his life if he promises to not tell anyone. And next summer he met a beautiful woman, married her, and they had kids, but he couldn't get rid of the feeling that they already met before. So he told his wife that she reminds him of someone he met in the woods, and she got angry. "You promised to not tell anyone," she said, "and now I would have to kill you. But we have kids, and you must take care of them. But I can't stay with you," and left. Cunning. I think I like the tale about Yuki-onna more because she was expected to be evil but then showed us her loving side. And now that I think about it more, I feel like Tsurara-onna is more possessive and less reasonable in her expectations. Her behavior sounds way more toxic compared to Yuki-onna. For some reason, every article I found describes Yuki-onna as pure evil, but if you start questioning it, you will see that she is just taking lives of those who are already doomed. To me, it sounds more like she's doing her job like a Grim Reaper and not doing it for joy or personal reasons. Even in the story I mentioned before, she took the life of the older guy but spared the young guy. I wonder if it happened because the young people have better immune system and have a higher chance to survive in the cold in the first place. Okay, back to the frozen sleeves. Initially, I wanted them to be all covered with these glass drops, like actual icicles, but even adding a few of them made the sleeves really heavy, so I switched to using the small beads. They are also made of glass and feel a bit heavy, but I think I could forgive this little inconvenience. Acrylic beads would be the lightweight alternative. They don't look as fancy though, and I want my Yuki-onna to get the maximum shine. Next up is her main kimono. Here I'm reusing my pattern from Hone-onna and just making it longer. In my first attempt I wanted to use organza to make the kimono look more airy, like snowfall, and use another fabric with metallic threads to add the frozen pattern. In my head it sounded way better than in reality because I didn't know that I won't be able to iron the seams flat. Organza melts easily, and you are not allowed to iron it at all actually, but I still tried to set my iron to the lowest temperature and make them flat. As you can see, it didn't work out. The vertical seams here looked kinda acceptable, but I wouldn't be able to fold the sleeves and they would just hang like two chunky sausages. So I had to change my plan and go shopping for alternatives. I didn't know what will look best, so I've got some white chiffon because it's also slightly transparent, but it had no gloss. So I've got another chiffon as well. This one has a silver print on it and it's a bit thicker, very shiny, but the tone is too warm compared to the first kimono. And option number 3 is this cotton fabric. It's thicker than the previous two options, but the color is closer to the first kimono and it has some shiny nylon threads mixed in that give it a very subtle and gentle shine. To me it looks like the best option, so I'm using this one. This fabric is very thick and I couldn't add any lining, so I'm hiding the seam allowances with lace. When the kimono was almost done, I tried it on and figured that the bottom is not laying nicely on the floor. I blame everything on the small scale and thick fabric. But what can we do about it? When I looked at Japanese dolls, I noticed that sometimes they add like a little horizontal seam at the bottom to remove the extra material and shape the train. I think it won't work as good on a posable doll though, so what I'm going to do is to add some material instead and make the skirt spread in a circular shape. And now it is time to add some patterns. Colors and patterns of kimono can also be seasonal, and I would like to decorate mine with winter classics like pine tree, bamboo and plume blossoms. Combined together, these three motifs are called three friends of winter, because pine and bamboo are evergreen and plume blossoms in winter. I cut pine branches out of this sparkly ribbon and then secure the edges with a lighter. Then I use textile glue to attach them to the fabric. When the glue is dry, I add more detail to the pine with black embroidery. You know, when I started working on this doll, I thought it would be a quick project, but the embroidery of this kimono took me so much time that this doll became my most time-consuming project ever. Before that, I thought that nothing would ever be able to compete with Malenia, and yet, here we go. While working on this kimono off camera, I started watching One Piece, and I've already finished 90 episodes. To make the embroidery more interesting, I picked several styles of Japanese pine motifs and combined them. I think it's great to have the variety because in actual forest you would never find two trees that looked exactly the same. Next, I need to add some branches to the pine. On a scrap fabric I tried to draw them with a marker and acrylic paint for textile, and the paint looked much better. The marker wasn't able to cover the nylon threads and the lines looked a bit bulky compared to the painted ones. I think drawing with a brush makes things look more lively as well. The branches bring the whole motif together and make everything look finished. I think I could have kept it how it is right now and it would look great already. Next I will add some bamboo leaves, but first exercise on scrap fabric. I want the leaves to look more subtle compared to the pine, so I paint some of them white. I think making some leaves white and some grey will also add some more dimension to the pattern and help to separate the leaves when they overlap. Next up is the plume flowers. My first thought was to make flowers out of beads to make them stand out, but they looked a bit too bulky, so I decided to paint them instead, and it was the worst decision ever. I think they made everything look cheap and kinda primitive compared to the other elements, and I couldn't get rid of them anymore, so I had to redo the skirt. Cutting the skirt was so traumatizing for me that even now it felt so hard to watch, but what you gonna do?
Why are you crying?
Because I'm mental.
In my second attempt to make the skirt, I've added some black pine trees with the white embroidery as well. I'm not sure if it made the pattern better, but it doesn't look worse either, so why not? The weather wasn't on my side either. This summer was so hot that paint was drying on my brush before I could even draw something. Now it's August, the summer is almost over. My favorite season will start very soon and hopefully I will feel happier and more energetic. The moment of wishful thinking. Okay, so I've learned my lesson and this time I've decided to keep the outfit in black and white and make flowers with small silver sequins. Attaching every petal took me forever and yet it was quite relaxing. Recently I started to notice that I actually like slow and repetitive work. I think it works like meditation if you manage to learn to actually enjoy the process and not concentrate on your goals too much. As they say, a samurai has no goal, only a path, and the samurai's path is death. Of old age, because this kimono takes way too much time to finish. Now there will be a seam on the waist, but it will be covered with the obi. Let it be our little secret. Anyway, I'm done attaching the flowers. Next I'll cover these edges with lace, just like I did with the sleeves, and the kimono will be ready. Now my doll has an outfit, but no body to wear it. Let's fix it. I took the body from Yuki-onna because it's pink and it will take me less layers of paint to paint it white. Plus, if at some point the paint will get scratches, it won't be as visible. After I painted her body white, I suddenly decided that I need to make her feet flat so that she can wear actual geta. What I need to do is to remove some plastic from her ankles to be able to bend her feet into their natural shape, and then repeat this step with her toes.
Heels are on the ground.
This was a spontaneous idea, and normally I would, of course, do all of the body modifications beforehand. Luckily, enamel paint has a strong grip, and unlike acrylics, it doesn't peel off, so I can just sand her feet and apply another layer of paint on top, and it will still have good coverage and smooth surface. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make a perfect transition from plastic to epoxy sculpt on her feet because the plastic on these parts is too tough to sand it properly. It hurts my eyes, so I need to make her socks very quick and pretend that it never happened. For the best fit, I had to make 2 seams on the socks, but I think it makes them look even more like tabi, the socks people usually wear with geta. For the geta, I'm going to use this slice of wood because the shape already resembles the geta. I cut it in half and then started carving the soles with a knife. This wood feels really soft, like driftwood, and I didn't need to apply much force to carve it. This is the only reason why it was safe to carve it against my finger. If in some parts I felt like I need to apply force, I would rather carve it on my desk, because you never know when the knife might slip and cut your finger. It's like when you want to get some cream or paint out of the tube and it's not coming out, but then it's suddenly too much. So if you feel like repeating after me, be careful. These knives are thin and sharp, which makes them really dangerous. When I was younger, I had a little unhappy accident of this kind, and then I was terrified of these knives for years. I will spare your mental health and not tell the details. After sanding, they suddenly look so smooth and cute. Now I need to drill 3 holes for the straps. Then I painted the soles black and sealed them with glossy varnish. Now adding the straps, I think silver will fit the best. I like how the shoes turned out, even cuter than I expected. And now we can finally get to my favorite part and dress her. This part always makes me nervous because I have absolutely no idea what it will look like when put together. I can only hope that everything works. For the obi, I've got this fine lace ribbon and its pattern reminds me of the frost patterns you can see on the windows in winter. Perfect for the character. As the last touch, I'd like to paint her nails with dark grey metallic paint and dry brush her hands with white metallic. And now it's time to check out the end result. Even though this project was supposed to be simple at first, it took me way longer than I thought. But I have no regrets, because my goal was to show the beauty of the winter season in a doll, and I think this doll represents my vision of winter perfectly. I decided to name her Fuyumi, which means the beauty of winter in Japanese. Share your thoughts in the comments section, and if you liked this video, don't forget to click the like button. It will make me happy and help my channel grow. If you like, you can also support my channel further by buying me a coffee. All of the links you can find in the description box. For every 100 coffees I reach, I'll make a giveaway and the winner will get a custom doll commission. Thank you very much for spending your time with me today, and I hope to see you soon in my next video. Bye!